Pat Travelino, what's going on, bro? Glad to see you here. No. Although I wanted to, man. Me and Shannon were laying on the couch, and I was like,
Glad to see you here.
shut the fuck up.
No.
I just told myself to shut the fuck up. I just told Shannon I just want to go to fucking bed. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it, but I have to. I do. I don't know why. Honestly, I really don't, but I feel like I do. So we'll see. Mike Ramey, you. Hey, I saw your email. I don't understand. What makes you think that they were already like released a long time ago? Because I searched and I found no articles or any sources that say that all the Democrats did was redact them. I'm pretty sure they were just released today for the first time. I'm pretty sure. But you might know something I don't know. I don't know. You know? They were released last year in 2024. How come nobody knew about them? How's that possible, Mike? Because every single news publication is I mean, all of them are saying that this is new stuff. Let me see. Go to bed. You work too hard. No, I got to do this. I got to. They just redacted Virginia's name. Well, see, that I thought took place today too, because when I woke up this morning, all the shows had the files or the emails with her name redacted. Yeah, look. Yes, a series of Jeffrey Epstein emails and a massive tranche of related documents were released today, November 12th, 2025, by both House Democrats and Republicans. They were not released in 2024. I don't know. I don't think they were released in 2024. Just being honest, because this morning every show I saw said that that they had the name redacted. I didn't know until later on in the day, because then when I started watching shows, I heard Caroline Levitt say, well, as you know now, the name has finally been redacted, so it's Virginia Giuffre. So I'm assuming they did that today sometime. I was just watching Adelita Grijalva get sworn in. Yeah, we'll see what happens now. But, what I'd like for these people to tell me. Yeah, that's what I thought. What I like for these people to tell me is like, and I know they won't, guys, that you see it. They won't give in. They won't. But I'm curious as to, unless you're just not bothered by pedophilia, which is the most, I never even thought I'd hear myself say something like that. I didn't think there were people who weren't bothered by that, except for, chomos themselves. But why are you not concerned that he's going out of his way to release these Epstein files? What, do they not know that he's doing that, or what? Nah, I never saw him French kiss his daughter, bro. I saw him feel her up on stage, but why are people not concerned? I mean, I'm telling you, I think it's very simple. It's like I always say, for whatever reason, when they decided to, I don't know, support this guy and become his defenders, they just decided that there's nothing he can do that they'll ever admit is wrong, that there's nothing he could do that will even bother them. I mean, you see me play video clips of him saying perverted shit about his daughter and 10-year-old girls and everything. And they see it too. But it's like they just convinced themselves a long time ago, nope. If I don't like what it says, it ain't true. Like I put up that compilation. It was created by TYT, right? So they think, well, then it's fake. But it's not TYT you're supposed to believe. They just put the compilation together. The clips are all Donald Trump talking. I don't understand. Congress won't act. Trump won't sign. Regardless, it will go to court. Well, but here's the thing, and this is what they wanted to avoid. Trump, of course, could just veto it if it passes in the Senate, right? But that's the thing, getting him to do that. See, it's the same thing with the vote. The Republicans are going to vote against it. There's no doubt. But they don't want to be on record voting against releasing the Epstein files. Then if it gets to Trump, he'll be on record vetoing it. And then I want to hear what his people will say. Oh, without a doubt, HR Christopher, without a doubt. Just get over it. He's the only one on the list, but not voting for his policies. Just get it over with. He's the only one on the list, but not voting for his policies. What does that mean? Do you mean you're not voting for his policies? I don't know. He's the only one on the list. Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I think my conspiracy theory hat. Dems have a portion, reps have a portion, and a third party, Israel, Russia, China, and it's kind of, if you release them, or if you release it, then it's a mutual destruction. It might be true, but the bottom line is, like, one thing we know for sure, like, we could speculate that Russia, China, Israel, that they'll all hurt somehow. They'll all, I don't know, feel the effects of these files being released, whatever it may be. We could speculate that Democrats are on them. We could speculate that Bill Clinton's in them. We could speculate that whoever's in them. But we know for a fact Trump is in them. And the bottom line is Trump only cares about Trump. I don't believe he's protecting anybody. I don't. Don't get me wrong, he might be in part. Yeah, there's probably people on there that donate to him and shit, of course. But his main concern is him. Same with Mike Johnson. Mike Johnson, he's terrified that these files will come out and they'll seriously damage Trump's presidency. He's terrified, and not only that, but he'll be out too. The Republicans will be out in general. The midterms, Democrats will wipe the floor with everybody. It's their jobs, So they're scared. But for years, I mean, pushing that, you're going to release the Epstein files. I mean, you should have known this. Trump was best friends with Epstein, so he knows where the bodies are buried. He's seen those important people. He knows everybody that's on that list, of course. So if that's the case, then why did he just always say, no, don't worry about the Epstein files, it's bullshit? How are you going to tell people for years, I'm going to release the Epstein files, and then when it comes time to tell everybody it's a Democrat hoax, then at the same time tell everybody that it's Democrats on the list? Well, why would Democrats create a list and put themselves on it? It doesn't even make any sense. Anybody who bought that line needs a lobotomy. No. I know. It's what they are, unfortunately. Okay, I threw the word French. Please look up the 90-second full lips on her full lips, hip to hip. Look it up. If you search tight, you'll see 21 pics. Okay, I threw the word French. Please look up the 90-second full lips on her full lips, hip to hip. Look it up. If you search tight, you'll see 26 pics. So you're a poet? What the fuck does that mean? What are you talking about? When I see French, I thought maybe you were talking about. You're talking about Trump making out with Ivanka. Well, listen, I'm just going to be honest. He never French kissed his daughter. There's no question. Well, let me take that back. On camera, he never French. I don't know what the fuck he did behind closed doors, but just like I would call out bullshit, against Democrats, I'll call out bullshit against Trump. How do you feel about the mass genocide over 1 million babies each year in the USA? Yeah, it's not what it is. It's not a mass genocide. It's not. It's abortion. In which case, the Supreme Court ruled on it decades ago. That it would be okay. Of course, Trump's Supreme Court overturned it. I'm fully aware. But there's a reason why it was legal by federal law for all those decades. It's a woman's body. You're not, unless it's some sort of late term abortion, you're not aborting a baby. You're not. Okay. So, and again, you guys don't think past that. I don't know why you even care, because you guys don't care about women or children. None of you Trump supporters do. But, maybe it's your silly religious reasons or something. I don't know why you care, but are any of you going to take in these children when they're put up for adoption, or when they're, found in their crackhead mother's fucking apartment, starving to fucking death in dirty diapers and all that shit? Or are you going to then advocate for WIC and food stamps and stuff so these kids can be fed? You just want them born, and then you want to wipe your hands of them, right? Who's seen clips from the recent South Park episode? I've never seen an episode of South Park in my life. There was a claim that Trump's shit for brains was an informant. That's Mike Johnson said that, but then of course Trump yelled at him and he took it back. It's not true. He never spoke to the FBI about Epstein. Vote yes to raise taxes. Why? Also, another thing, I think no matter what, if they release it and they don't see Trump, Clinton, Prince Andrew, and other elites, people will say it's fake because public opinion is they're already guilty. Well, listen, first of all, Trump has been redacted. They literally signed 1,000 FBI. They assigned 1,000 FBI agents to redact his name. But I'm assuming, unless they just completely, redacted entire parts of the files, that it will. You'll know by reading the files who they're talking about. You'll know if they're talking about Trump. I would hope so. Prince Andrew's definitely in him. He has to be. There's no question about it. Clinton might be in them. Other elites, definitely. Yeah. I mean, listen, Ghislaine Maxwell got convicted of sex trafficking. Okay. So they were trafficking these kids. It wasn't like they were just getting them for Epstein and his friends. They were trafficking these kids. This was big business. So, I think there's going to be a lot of people. Who knows who? I don't know. But I know, as far as Democrats, or even other Republicans, the only person we know for sure is in those files is Donald Trump. Was that right? Do you need baby oil, sir? Slavery used to be legal. Legal doesn't equal moral. What the fuck are you talking about, Dubstepticon? What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about abortion? Well, listen, I guess it's your opinion against everyone else's, right? Because even in the Bible, it doesn't say shit about abortion. Yeah, thou shalt not kill. Yeah, but it depends on if you think, someone's being killed. So it's just, you guys hate women. You want to have control over their bodies. That's it. A lot of guys are like that. Men, they want to control women completely and totally. They don't even want them leaving the house. They want them barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. That's really what it comes down to. Because Dubstepticon, you don't give a fuck about women. I assure you, you don't. I guarantee it. You know why? Because if you did, you'd be more worried about abortion being illegal. Because you can look up cases of women across this country who have died because they had complicated pregnancies, and the only way to save their lives were, during labor to abort the baby or whatever, or before that, whatever. The cases are all different. And they had to let the woman die, because if they would have done something to save her life and it was seen as abortion, then they could go to fucking jail. So, if you cared about women, you'd also want the Epstein files released. You'd be concerned about a lot of things. So, and children, I don't believe you care about children either. Or babies, fetuses. We love abortion whores, though. They give it up. No child support. Okay. No. They wouldn't, mud butters. Abortion is wrong to those until they need it, right? Of course. Let me tell you something. There's no more pro-choice man in this country than Donald Trump. I bet you he's paid for fucking 1,000 abortions. I guarantee it. You know what I mean? There's, it's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. Matter of fact, what did I hear a while ago? some Republican got an abortion and other Republicans helped her do it. Do you guys know about this? I can't remember the details. I'll look it up for tomorrow. But they're not pro-life. They don't give a fuck about that. It's to appease their stupid evangelical base and shit. They don't care. Any of those fucking people knock up some fucking teenager because they're all pedos. See how quick they pay for an abortion. Even if they just knock up a woman their age, you know, that they're fucking on the side or something. See how quick they'll pay for an abortion with no problem. 2 million families waiting to adopt babies. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not. I would have to look that up. Abortion does not in any way constitute a genocide, as there is no intent. It is not systemic, not being forced on the people. Jesus. Yeah, genocide was a crazy word to use. But they're like, you know, I don't know. What's the word I'm looking? They're real dramatic with that shit. I know. I think a lot of you guys, the problem is that, you know, you haven't seen much in life, you know? I don't think you've seen what happens to these kids that are born that are unwanted, you know? I mean, it really is fucking sad. It really is sad. I saw a lot of situations where because of the parents the kid is born to and the fact they were unwanted, their lives are misery, pure fucking misery. And, you know, there's women, they'll give birth and throw the baby in the fucking dumpster, in a toilet bowl, whatever. I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know. Trump only cares about his rich pedophile buddies. Everyone else can kick rocks. Yes. And don't even get me started on just the term pro-life. Because get the fuck out of here. You ain't pro-life. If you're against abortion, just say you're against abortion, but you are not pro-life. Because the same people that are pro-life and want fetuses saved, they will send motherfucking kids to war in a heartbeat. They will fucking, they will cut those babies off as soon as they come out of the womb. No WIC, no food stamps, no Section 8 housing, no nothing. You know what I mean? They don't care about kids getting killed in school shootings, no matter what. If, God forbid, let's just say there was some gun control legislation that could help that issue. They're not giving up the money they receive from the NRA and gun manufacturers, these Republican politicians, to save those lives. So they're not pro-life in any way, shape, or form. 2 million. Oh, God. Don't repeat the same thing. That irritates the fuck out of me, and I'm just going to block you. Rather abortion than gay couples being able to adopt because they fuck the kids. Wow. It's a shame that people like you get to breathe the same air as the rest of us, you know? You think that's what happens? Yeah. Are you worried about straight people that fuck the kids? Like, how about the Epstein files, James? Is it the kids you're worried about, or is it the gay people that bother you? Which one is it? Because I could already give you the answer. Just from what you said, it's not kids you're worried about. You just hate gay people. And you probably are one, honestly. It's nobody is walking around thinking about gay people all that often unless they're gay. I'm telling you right now. I say it on every show. I fucking never think about gay people. They never even cross my mind. You know why? I'm straight. I'm not concerned with what gay people are doing. As long as they're not trying to do some shit to me, they ain't bothering me, you know? And do I think I don't know. Is it something that I mean, I can't, I myself have a problem to an extent with gay couples adopting, but I'd rather see a baby go to two loving people than go in a fucking dumpster or something. You know what I mean? Or live in the middle of the fucking project somewhere with some crackhead mother who doesn't want anything to do with the kid, or in some fucking trailer park running around barefoot, filthy and dirty diapers, stinking, you know, and they can't even get good food to eat or fucking clothes to wear. Yeah, I'm sorry. No. You don't know shit if he was in the files. Oh, here we go. There's always one. Anything negative, it would have already come out before the election. That's just a fact. No, that's not just a fact, dickhead. That's your opinion, because we don't know for a fact that anybody knew he was in the files. You guys are so funny. You think the Epstein files are like some regular old documents that are just scattered on somebody's desk, and there's photocopies made and everybody's seen them. Do you realize that the fucking Epstein files, whatever they got in those files, the majority of it came from the raid on his home and his computers. Okay, which means that the Department of Justice has had it ever since. Now, I know we're used to Trump running the Justice Department because he does, but no other president has ever been that way. They're two separate entities. So what the Justice Department has, the president doesn't necessarily have, and most likely doesn't. Dogmar, I swear to God, you have no idea how much faith I lose in humanity when I see somebody say what you just said, because you have to be willfully ignorant at this point, or just plain blind. There is no question he's in those files. The who are they covering them up for right now if it's not Trump? Who are they covering up the files for? Why did Trump say that anybody who signs that discharge position, it's an act of hostility? Why would he say that? To get the Epstein files released. If you try to help get the Epstein files released, it's an act of hostility. And you know how stupid you have to be to know everything you know about Trump and Epstein and think that there's any possibility that Trump isn't in the files? Like Epstein, have you seen the videos with Trump and Epstein, the photos? I'm sure you saw the birthday card. Of course, you don't believe that's real. Do you know about their history together? Do you know that Trump met Melania through Jeffrey Epstein, and the first time they had sex was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane? Do you know Trump is on the flight logs 8 times? Do you know that Trump is in his little black book 13 times? Oh, of course he is. And these people, like, I don't know, man. Listen, a person like me will never be able to understand. The way Trump supporters think, this brainwash mentality. Never. I literally, that's not how you spell literally. Getting off this man is a creature. Never trust the left with your baby. Yeah, well, you support pedophiles, and you probably are one fuckface. Goodbye. Had it with your horse shit. The first time was on his what? Jeffrey Epstein's plane. The first time that Trump had sex with Melania. Why didn't they use the information in prior elections? All right, I guess you didn't hear what I said a minute ago. There's no guarantee that any of them even had the fucking information. And what prior elections? Most of this stuff came like during the Trump administration and before the Biden administration. So, yeah, how about that? LOL, truth is truth, guy. Really, with one L. Dude, are you a baby? No, are you a baby? Biden administration had the files, didn't release them. Wow. You really believe if Trump was on them, they wouldn't? Guys, what do you think? Like, when you hear me explain that over and over, and then they just keep saying the same thing, do you think they didn't hear me or they didn't understand me? What do you think? The fact that I have to keep saying that there is no question he's in the files. It's been reported from every fucking publication under the sun that Pam Bondi told him he's in the files. I mean, he knows he's in the files. Mike Johnson knows it. The Republicans know it. The only ones that don't know it are you guys, because you have. I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to do something bigger here on YouTube, I would never even deal with people like you. I swear to God, it is so despicable to even. I feel dirty when I'm done with these live streams. It's like, ugh, I'm sitting in here with a bunch of people who insist on covering up for a pedophile. It makes me sick. It makes me fucking sick. Where is the proof? Show the proof. The proof what? Look up, Google right now. Did Pam Bondi tell Donald Trump he's in the Epstein files? Go ahead. They don't, David J. They don't. It's an assumption, nothing more. No, it's an absolute fact. It's an absolute fact. Anyone who still supports these degenerate fuckers should be charged with aiding and abetting. The Trump supporters? Yeah, those fucks? Yeah, I agree. Trump is not a pedo, guaranteed. Okay. You know that the emails that came out today, was Epstein emailing Ghislaine Maxwell and Michael Wolff when they were working together on a book. and he said that Donald Trump was in his house alone with Virginia Giuffre for hours. Virginia Giuffre, I think at the time, was 15. What do you think Trump was doing with her there? You guys are amazing. Who's the DA in the Epstein arrest? Which one, Jiu-Jitsu? Which Epstein arrest? Google, it's an absolute fact, huh? So you were there? No. That's why you use like search engines and stuff, Google. And you don't have to believe the Google answer. It's the millions of results you get when you Google something. I swear to God, man, it's honestly like speaking to children. No, he's not. You listen to too much woke shit. It's too T-O and then too T-O-O. Too much. Too much would be T-O-O. Because he was working with the FBI, but you act like that doesn't happen. We all know he's in there, but he did nothing wrong. Didn't we go through this earlier? Me and you, like the same people? Did Donald Trump ever work with the FBI against Jeffrey Epstein? There's no independent confirmation or evidence that Donald Trump worked with the FBI as a formal informant against Jeffrey Epstein. Claims that Donald Trump was an FBI informant originated from comments made by House Speaker Mike Johnson, who later retracted the specific terminology, clarifying he was repeating common knowledge, that Trump was trying to assist in the investigation. Yeah, he never worked with the FBI. All he did was talk to the victim's lawyer in 2009 on the phone one time. Epstein's estate released emails. Trump likes little girls. Of course. Yeah. Show the proof, bro. You're just saying stuff. Okay. What proof do you want for what exact thing? This guy is his clown shoes, like the Dems would never leave. Oh my God, they don't get it. Guy Fawkes doesn't get it. They don't get it. You can't wrap your mind around it, no matter how many times I say it, huh? You're assuming that the Democrats knew Trump was in the files then. That's what you're assuming. Do you realize that everybody, including the Democrats, went apeshit when the Department of Justice came out and said there is no Epstein list? And not until then. You realize that, right? Because Donald Trump and Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and all these people, J.D. Vance, talked for years about how the Epstein files need to be released. Pam Bondi said the Epstein list is on my desk. I'm reviewing it as we speak. Donald Trump ran on releasing the Epstein files. Okay. J.D. Vance talked about it in interviews. The Epstein files have to come out. Then they come out after Pam Bondi says they're on my desk about a month later and says there is no Epstein list. That's how we know they're covering up for Trump, you dildos. That's what Wall Street Journal says, but it's not confirmed, and the DOJ denies it. If you're asking, did she definitely tell him the honest answer? We don't know for sure. We know, Mike. We know, because that shit doesn't come out of nowhere. And tell me this. Why is the most litigious man in the world, Donald Trump, that sues every chance he gets, why is he not suing the Wall Street Journal? And by the way, it's not just the Wall Street Journal. It's every single fucking news publication. They all reported it at the same fucking time. Why is that? They're all going to take chances of getting sued by Donald Trump. You ever noticed certain things Donald Trump doesn't sue over? The BBC edits an interview, he sues. You know, if CBS edits 60 Minutes, he sues. But when Elon Musk says Donald Trump's in the Epstein files, he doesn't sue. Why do you think that is? And then like this, Wall Street Journal reports that that Pam Bondi told him he's in the files. He doesn't sue. Why is that? Why doesn't Pam Bondi sue? Why is none? You know why? He can't do a deposition about this topic. He's either going to perjure himself or he'll have to admit to the shit he did. So Bondi also refused to say no when asked if there was explicit photos of Trump with naked young girls in the files. If the answer was no, she would have said no, but she didn't want to perjure herself. Emily, exactly. She sat there stone-faced. She wouldn't answer the question. And why? If there is no picture of Donald Trump standing with a bunch of naked young girls while they're laughing at a wet spot on his pants, why didn't she just say no? There's no such thing. She wouldn't deny it, because if she would have been guilty of perjury. They literally have letters showing girls saying he was never involved with any of them, and others showing Obama and Epstein agreeing to lie about Trump being involved. Melissa, you're just like the rest of them. You literally just pulled that out of your ass. I'll tell you what, give me the credible source that said Obama and Epstein. You know what's funny about people like Melissa? You guys usually have the same bullshit talking points. You all tell the same lies on no, he didn't sue Michael Wolff either. Exactly. You all have the same lies that you and talking points that you repeat like constantly. But then you get somebody like Melissa, who just when you thought you've heard all the ridiculous responses to something, Melissa pulls some shit out of her ass that nobody's even said before. Obama and Epstein worked together. Okay. Yeah, sure I do, Delta. Whatever the fuck your name is. But DJT needs to go with him. What do you mean? No, they can't. They can't. They can't. You don't know shit. You want to debate me? 457 people. Everybody, guys, you see on the thing there, that's a reminder. Please hit the like button and subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. I'd really appreciate it. And plus, in the chat right there is my info for my PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo. And of course, you know where the super chat button is if you'd like to get a comment read, just because I can't read them all. So if you can contribute to the show, it would be nice to show, as a way to show your appreciation. How disappointed you must be. Where's the smoking gun? Everywhere. The smoking gun is, there's a bunch of them. Punch yourself in the mouth. No. Thank you. Whittlestein. Thank you. Really? What he just did? None of you guys could debate me, period. If on your best day, you wouldn't stand a fucking chance, but you're calling me an idiot. You don't realize that Trump is in the Epstein files, even with all this mountains of overwhelming evidence of it. I mean, my God, Jesus. And that person who just said that is right. How come he's not suing Michael Wolff? Michael Wolff is the one that said Epstein told him all this shit when he interviewed him. The only time he doesn't sue is when he cannot take the chance of being deposed. That's why that fucking Rupert Murdoch, the Wall Street Journal article about the birthday card went nowhere. Because Trump, they actually made an agreement. Trump didn't want to do a deposition. Okay? Now, why wouldn't he want to do a deposition? I'll tell you why. Because he's under oath then. And if he lies, and then, there's proof that he's lying, he's in big fucking trouble. Exactly, down the irons, yes. Trump suing the Wall Street Journal didn't mean shit. It's a farce. The letter is real, and you idiots believe his cover-ups. He sued to save face. Murdoch and the elites are going to fuck him. Well, yeah, possibly even literally. Yeah. And that's why there's certain things you gotta go by probability. You gotta say, okay, so somebody says Pam Bondi, or so it's been reported that Pam Bondi says Trump is in the Epstein files. Number one, where did this come from that reputable publications are gonna publish it? Not just reputable. The main publication owned by the same guy that owns Fox News, that is literally just a propaganda arm for the Republican Party. When they post something anti-Trump, it's true. It's 100% true. They felt like they had no other choice once they found out. Okay, because they wouldn't otherwise. Okay, so take probability. Okay, this is a guy who's a pervert. Donald Trump is a pervert his whole life. He's been accused of sexual assault 27 times. He's been since the 70s, not just when he was running for president. He was found civilly liable for sexually assaulting E. Jean Carroll. He's talked openly on TV shows like The View and Robin Leach, the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous or whatever, and Howard Stern about wanting to fuck his own daughter. Okay. He looked at a 10-year-old girl on an escalator on Entertainment Tonight and said, "You see her? I'll be dating her in 10 years." Okay. So where there's smoke, there's fire. You take all these pieces of information that are all factual and you put them together with the reports that Pam Bondi told Trump he's in the Epstein files. Then on top of that, you say, wait a minute. I think Pam Bondi did tell him that. You know why? Because a month before, they say she sat him down and told him that. She said on live national television, I have the Epstein files on my desk and I didn't get to review them yet. Oh, so you have them on your desk. You're about to review them. Then about a month later, you sit Trump down and say he's in the Epstein files. Then about 3 weeks after that, what happens? The people like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Donald Trump and all these people that have told you for years that there's Epstein files and they're in the hands of the Department of Justice, they just pop up on TV one day and say, guess what, guys? There is no Epstein list. Now, if you can't put that together in your head and come to the conclusion that there's not a fucking doubt in the world that Trump is in those files, then you're just for some reason too biased or too afraid to admit it or something. You know, that's the thing. 506 people. Everybody, please hit the like button, subscribe, and throw a donation my way if you'd like. I agree, MAGA 100%. This is bull. You spew when you're a sore loser. Okay. Or it could be the truth and you just don't like it because you're a cult member. Only an idiot believes Trump. Yeah. There's a lot of cope and denial from all the MAGA commentators. Yeah, I know. That's what they do, man. I told you, you can show them a video of Trump doing something. I do it all the time. And then they'll say, no, it's not real. He didn't do it. Or consider the source, even though the source has nothing to do with the video because the video is Donald Trump saying it. You know, I deal with it every show. It truly is enough to make you want to put your head through a wall, you know? If he was, Biden would have dropped them all. Okay. So now you're jumping to the conclusion that Biden had the files in his hands and knew Trump was in them, and you have zero proof of that. Zero. So how would Biden have done something he wasn't even aware he could do? Why is that? Tell me that. He's not in any files. You listen to shit, CNN and MSNBC, DNC. No. Mad Rush 2.0. I don't listen to any of them. You listen to Fox News. That's why you're retarded and you're fucking, obsessed with this man and you think he's a god. Oh, I don't listen to that horse shit. You do. I listen to independent journalists and then I fact check them before I take their words for anything. Fake president worshiped by fake Christian, fake patriots. Yep. 2009 plea deal. Epstein was arrested long before Trump's first term. If you didn't know this, then shut the fuck up. No, you're not listening to me, dopey. Okay. He was still committing crimes after that. Okay. When he finally got busted, which was in the late 2010s. Okay. They raided his mansion or mansions. They took his computers. They took his files. They took pictures. They took everything. You dumb motherfucker. Okay. So that stuff is with the Department of Justice. And that stuff since 2009, where do you think that went? Let me ask you something. Do you know who the prosecutor was that gave Epstein his sweetheart deal? Do you know? Time to stand 69.86, $2. Democrats just blocked to release the files. Why? They didn't. That did not happen. Where'd you hear that? Time to stand. You realize that today there was a celebration because Adelita Grijalva was finally sworn in after 50 days by Mike Johnson trying to cover up the pedophiles or the Epstein files. So now she's going to be the 218th signature on the discharge petition, 214 of which are Democrats trying to force a vote on the release of the Epstein files. So that's why Trump is panicking, and he called us a fucking meeting today with Lauren Boebert to try to talk her into taking her name off the discharge petition. Katie Johnson. Yeah, Katie Johnson was raped by Donald Trump and Epstein. Most likely. You are the cult member, LMAO. All you do is project. How am I projecting? Yeah, Civil War. Yeah, there won't be one. Don't worry. Yet no one talks about Biden's weirdness around. Yeah, being weird around kids is the same as, like actually molesting them or something like that. It's totally the same thing. You're right, 100%. Let's forget about Trump saying he wants to fuck his own daughter and stuff like that. Come on, let's worry about Biden being weird around kids. That's what we should worry about. It's just no proof. You haven't shown any evidence. It's just no proof. You would say there's just no proof. Okay. And what evidence do you want to see? Any evidence I could pull up, you could find on your own. You just refuse not to. And you guys just heard what I said. I said Pam Bondi telling Trump he was in the files is reported everywhere. And people who don't agree with me on anything came in and said, well, you're right. It was reported. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Epstein got arrested and took a plea deal in 2009. Oh, my God. Wow, John Ballness, whatever the fuck your name is. Do you know that the person who gave Jeffrey Epstein the sweetheart deal in 2009 was Alexander Acosta, who then later on became Trump's the fuck, I always forget. What position did Alexander Acosta hold in the Trump administration? Yeah, Secretary of Labor. Okay, made him the Secretary of Labor about, I don't know, 8 years or so after he gave Jeffrey Epstein that sweetheart deal. That's not suspicious either, right? No. Mike Ramey, $2 stream donation fund. Thank you, Mike. When this guy just pulled all that out of his ass, do you know he's just another liberal fucking idiot? Sam, you want to debate me? Oh, yeah, but I won't be found. Guys, you don't understand. Let me tell you the difference between me and you, okay? I research this shit and study it all day, every day. That's why the shit you hear me say, you've never heard it before. Because what you do is you listen to Fox News. That's all you do. You don't read, you don't research. You listen to Fox News, and whatever they tell you, you convince yourself that's the truth, the only truth, and nothing but the truth, okay? That there's no changing your mind. But I don't say these things without researching them thoroughly. I mean, you'd have to be insane if you said to me, okay, so tell me where I'm wrong, Mad Rush 2.0. Tell me where I'm wrong. If you said to me that Biden had all this shit with Epstein in his past, I would say, no doubt he's all over those files. No doubt. You'd have to be an idiot to say otherwise. You guys truly, this is your whole identity, and you're so afraid to lose your leader. Because what do you do then? What do you do then? You don't have a mind of your own. You're not critical thinkers by any stretch of the imagination. What do you do? What do you do when President Trump is ruined by all this? What are you going to do? James Comey's daughter was the prosecutor. Democrats are covering up and have tainted the Epstein files. So who is Alexander Acosta? Hold on. District Attorney? Who is Alexander Acosta in the Jeffrey Epstein case? U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida. So, the ultimate prosecutor. Yeah. Told you. I said he was a prosecutor, and you're wrong on everything. Like what, Michael? Tell me what. James, let me see. Wait, there was something else. Democrats are covering up and have tainted the Epstein files. J11L2, again, I'll say this again since you didn't hear me the first time. So there's a discharge petition right now that has been in place since about 2 months ago. And oddly enough, luckily enough for Donald Trump, Mike Johnson decided at that same time, about 2 months ago, to just send Congress home. You know why? Because Democrats, with that discharge petition, they were trying to force a vote on releasing the Epstein files. Adelita Grijalva was sworn in 50 days ago, or was elected 50 days ago. She was supposed to be sworn in pretty much immediately. He kept Congress shut down, Mike Johnson, and refused to swear her in until today. Now there's 218 signatures on the discharge petition to force a vote on the Epstein file release, and 214 of them are Democrats. So you're telling me it's really the 4 Republicans that are trying to release the files, and the 218 are trying to cover them up. If you knew any less, I don't think you could function as a human being. You watch CNN and don't change your mind either. I don't watch CNN. You just say that. You say it like you know me. You don't know shit about me. You don't even know my name, for fuck's sake. And you think you know what I watch. I haven't watched CNN since 2014. I don't watch MSNBC. I don't watch any of it. I don't watch news, period. You don't understand. I watch independent journalists. I don't watch news networks. I don't watch news shows. I don't. Breaking. In a 2017 email from what appears to be an Epstein victim, the woman writes, "I'm at the door, but I will wait for my time. I don't want to come early to find Trump in your house. Significant, given that Trump has long claimed he cut off Epstein years before 2017. Oh, well, would you look at that? Yes, he had them, dumb it. How do you know? Show me proof that the Democrats had the Epstein files. Just show me proof. I'm asking you. Show me proof that anyone but the Department of Justice had the Epstein files. I don't care about the government to pay too much attention. I create my own systems of security. Wisdom comes from functional training of the skill sets. Gotcha. I never watched Fox News and I'm on the right. Yeah, sure you didn't. Yeah. Debate me. Forget about the leader. What does that mean? Forget about the leader? What does that mean? MAGA cult doesn't care as long as Trump hates who they hate, and that's enough. That's all it ever was. I've been telling people that for years. The whole thing is built on hatred. Hatred. And as long as he hates the same people they hate, they will always be his guy. And they could watch him R-wording a child, and they would fucking stand there and cheer for him. They don't care about anyone but him. It's crazy. Show me proof that they don't. Well, you can't prove a negative. So that's like saying, show me proof that God doesn't exist. That would be impossible, wouldn't it? Fucking dummy. Trump would be popular in prison? Yeah. I don't even think he'd be popular there. What's the next diversion for Trump? Who knows? Trump worked with the feds when Epstein was arrested in Florida. I literally just Googled this like a minute ago. You do know that, right? And that's not true. Matter of fact, I still have it up. Oh, no, I put in the Alexander Acosta thing. There's no independent confirmation or evidence that Donald Trump worked with the FBI as an informant against Jeffrey Epstein. It's just something you say because you heard Mike Johnson say it. I guess what you didn't hear is a couple of days later when Mike Johnson retracted it. Never had the laptop either. Oh, so we're just going to change the subject to the laptop. You guys are really worried about that laptop that belonged to a guy who was never president, don't you? Wow. Biden was a Democrat. Obama was a Democrat. And what does that mean? What are you saying? Oh, God. Who are you talking? Is it Ranch Riot? Oof. Kitty sniffer voter. Meanwhile, we debunked yesterday that Biden never sniffed any kids. We found out there's absolutely no proof, and the one video that shows it was actually doctored to add in the sniffing sound. Pam Bondi was part of the first cover-up in 2004 at Epstein-Trump Florida case with Katie Johnson. Oh, was she? I didn't know that, but I believe it. Just like you don't watch CNN. I don't watch CNN, but there's a reason. You got to understand. I know you don't believe this. And again, it kills me to keep repeating it, but people on the left are just generally smarter than people on the right. And that's a fact. You know what I mean? It really is a fact. So people on the left, they don't need to listen to CNN and MSNBC and all that. They can gather their own information and research things and fact check things and come to conclusions. You know, they actually care about facts. They're not allergic to them like Trump supporters. Red states are the least educated states in the country. Okay. And there's a reason for that. Number one, it's because you vote for Republicans. You keep voting for Republicans, and all they want to do is keep you stupid and poor. So the poorest, least educated states in the country are red states. So you guys, this is how I know that you listen to Fox News, because There's not a single one of you that has a mind of your own. You know, not a single one of you. I'm going to show you guys something. Now, the people that are usually here, you've seen this 10 times in the last couple of weeks, I know. But I'm gonna play you something, and let's see how the Trump supporters respond. Yeah, that's not true. What do you mean? There's no such thing as a red state, only red cities? Wow, bro. Again, if you were any dumber, do you even function as an adult? What are the red states in America? Red and blue states map 2025. So I can't even believe I'm doing this. Red states generally include states in the South, Great Plains, and Mountain West regions. See that? You see what this is? You might have seen this before. This, you see this? What do you think that means right there? There's no such thing as red states. Red states would be, these are the red states: Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Iowa. Did I already say Minnesota and Wisconsin? I don't know. Illinois. No. Minnesota. Sorry. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois are blue states. What else? Missouri, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. Those are red states. What that means is, I can't believe I got to tell you this, is that they vote Republican. Those states always vote Republican. Okay. And then there's blue states. And the blue states just happen to be the most well-educated, richest states in the country. I know it hurts. I know, but it's true. It's true. LOL, his wife's on a date right now. No. She's upstairs in bed. The same left, they wheeled out a corpse for 4 years. A corpse is a dead body. So no. Gotta love when this man says, you know nothing about me. Then next breath says, Democrats are smarter because he knows everyone. No, dickhead. You see what I just told you? You know, look up. There's facts, and then there's your stupid opinions. What are the least educated states in the country? West Virginia, Mississippi, Louisiana. Let me see. Hold on. I'm going to go right here to this. West Virginia, Louisiana, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Nevada, Kentucky, Alabama, New Mexico, Texas, Indiana, Tennessee, Idaho, Arizona, Alaska, South Carolina, South Dakota, Ohio, Missouri, Iowa, Georgia. I mean, bro, what do you need to know? Oh my God. Oh, it goes through. Yeah. California, there you go. That's a 38th. Wyoming, Michigan, North Dakota, Kansas. So listen, what are the most educated states in the country? Massachusetts is the most educated state in the country, in the U.S., followed closely by states like Vermont, Maryland, and Colorado. Those just happen to be blue states. Okay? Yeah. Massachusetts, by the way, that's the one state where every single county voted for Kamala Harris. Now, isn't it that the most educated state in the U.S., Massachusetts, every single county voted for Kamala. But the poorest states in the country, the least educated, with, of course, that means the dumbest people, voted for Trump. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? Yeah, let me guess. It's just a coincidence or something, right? The lunatic libertarian 499. Is there a tangible action plan to hold all government corruption accountable by the populace, no matter Democrat, Republican, or bureaucrat? Well, of course not, because to some level they're all corrupt. You know what I mean? But there's corrupt, regular politician corrupt, and then there's Donald Trump corrupt. The ride of a great economy. What does that mean? The ride of a great economy. Why can't libtards even answer simple questions? I can answer whatever question you want. I'm not a libtard. I'm not even a liberal. But if you think that I read every single comment when I get like 4,000 comments per live stream, if you think that's even possible, then again, now I understand why you're a Trump supporter. Who wrote that? What do you mean who wrote that? Those are the facts. They're called statistics. They're called statistics. Those are the facts. Yeah. How do we win then? Okay. You want me to read it to you again? Because the majority of this country are stupid people. Okay. I'll give you an example. 54% of Americans read and write on a third grade level. 23% of Americans are functionally illiterate. That's how he won. That's how he won. What is a woman? Anyone born with a vagina, and only anyone born with a vagina. You thought, listen, guys, when they tell you that Democrats don't know the difference between a man and a woman, they're just fear mongering you. I know nothing but Democrats. I've never met somebody who doesn't know the difference between a man and a woman. Now, isn't that something that all the poor people voted for Democrats all these decades? No, because I just read to you the exact opposite. So what you did is just turned everything around that I said and then lied about it. Gotcha. Democrats have no common sense, spelled with a C, S-E-N-C-E. Yeah, it would be S-E-N-S-E. Don't let this Democrat tell you how to spell, but hey. Great economy with Mr. Autopen. The auto pen thing is out the window, guys. First of all, every fucking president has used the auto pen for like 7 decades. The only reason Trump is doing that is, again, to distract you. Just like when he was saying they're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs, and then after election day, you never heard about it again once he got elected. This is what they do to distract you guys from the fact that they're covering up for pedos and robbing you blind and stuff. Donald Trump was on 60 Minutes a few nights ago because something you've never heard Biden say? You've never heard Biden say, I don't know who I pardoned. Biden has said that he authorized every single pardon. Trump, on the other hand, on 60 Minutes the other night said, and I quote, when asked about CZ, the CEO of Binance, who was just pardoned by Trump, he said, you ready? I don't even know who the guy is. I don't know anything about it. So that sounds like kind of an auto pen situation to me, right? According to Trump, somebody in the administration pardoned him, but it wasn't him. So, sorry. Why are blue states all bankrupt? Maybe because they're carrying all the red states. Do you know that California pays in $85 billion more to the federal government than they take out, and Texas takes out $75 billion more than they put in? It's probably a stupid question to ask. Literally, California has the 4th largest GDP in the entire world. Okay, so and not only that, but Los Angeles and Los Angeles and New York City, just those 2 cities alone, pretty much pay for the rest of those poor red states to survive because they would go bankrupt without the blue cities and blue states. Educated, you mean indoctrinated, no common sense? No, that's you guys. You're indoctrinated with no common sense. Yeah. And I'm not an educated guy. I teach myself. I read and I research. That's all. She didn't fail. How'd she fail as a VP, dummy? Tell me what the average VP does. Do you know that she cast more tie-breaking votes than any vice president in history? So what'd she fail at? You know that vice presidents don't do anything, right? Like, it's literally, there's an expression, one president at a time. It's more of like a rule. Vice presidents don't do shit. Tell me what J.D. Vance is doing right now. What do you mean a failed vice president? You think there's more people on the right than the left? No. No, but I believe half the country is stupid. Okay? There's stupid people on the left, too. But there's the majority of the country is stupid. Yeah. And particularly people who vote Republican in red states. I mean, think about it. You guys have been voting against your own best interests for like 50 years. You know what I'm saying? So That's what you guys do. Like you listen to everything Republicans say and you say, okay, none of that will be good for me. That would all hurt me greatly. But, oh, you're going to deport Mexicans? I'm fucking voting for Trump. You know, that type of shit. You guys just hate people. That's all. You don't even know shit about Trump. You couldn't even tell me your favorite policy, Trump policy, without saying border, you know, or immigrant. That's it. So, but remember this too. Trump didn't even win half. Like a lot of people say, like to say half the country voted for him. Half the country didn't vote at all. But out of the voters that voted, half the voters didn't even vote for him. How about that? You guys keep yelling landslide. Meanwhile, he didn't even win 50% of the vote. I know, bro. I know it's aggravating as fuck. Mike Ramey, $5. Educated doesn't mean smart. LOL. I've met some really dumb college kids. Well, no, but a lot of this shit in these blue states is based on literally like test scores, grades, things like that. So in that case, it literally does mean smart. And don't get me wrong, Mike, I feel you because I went out with a chick, beautiful girl. She had a master's degree in behavioral health, and she could barely tie her fucking shoes. You know, I know some stupid educated people too, but although many educated people might be dumb, usually uneducated people are always dumb. You know? Your ancestors would be ashamed, you snake fuck. Why is that? Do you know what I am? What's my heritage? Biden also said he would not pardon his son, and he did. Yeah, well, there's a reason for that. He said he would not pardon his son. And then when Trump won the election, Kash Patel said that I will fucking prosecute Biden and convict him, even if I have to make up a crime. So then Biden said, fuck that, I'm protecting my son, which you think Trump wouldn't? Guys, Trump is pardoning guys that donate money to him, guys that invest in his crypto coin. He pardoned a kid because the kid's mother gave him $1 million. He sells pardons. So don't talk to me about Biden. Trump deportation sickness. What's your pronouns? Fuck you. That's my pronouns. Fuck and you. Trump has more felonies than any other president. Not just that. There is no other president with felonies. You are so full of shit. Sure, Mark Drummond. Tell me how. Instead of just saying that, tell me how. Cast tie-breaking vote is an accomplishment. Well, it helped. She got a lot of legislation passed. Yeah, absolutely. Of course. What do you mean? Yeah, without her, tons of good legislation wouldn't have been passed. So, yeah. All Dems bitch about is Trump's ballroom, like Bozo didn't spend $268 million for a basketball court. Mad Rush, you know what? I'm almost wondering if you were put here by friends of mine to make me look good. Were you planted here? Were you planted here by my friends? Listen, Mad Rush, what goes through your head when you say the words? I'm being serious. Listen to me closely now. What goes through your head when you say the words $260 million for a basketball court? What goes through your head? 268 million. Do you know of any basketball court that costs $268 million? Like, you realize, like, there's only a couple of arenas that cost more than $268 million. So I want you to tell me you really believe Biden paid $268 million for a basketball court. And then I'm going to break your heart. Top Corn Biscuits, Donnie Decline is in the files. Way to go, MAGA. You elected a PDF file. Carry on, MAGA. You're doing great. Thank you, Top Corn Biscuits. I truly appreciate you donating. Thank you. Yeah, I know. But you can't say anything about Trump without them saying Obama. They're just programmed. That's right. George Carlin was right. The lunatic libertarian, $4.99. Monetary, education, healthcare, government, centralized systems are control systems. Humans can't handle cooperation. Competition dehumanizes. I don't know. But thank you for the $4.99. Thank you for the $4.99. Most Democrat voters don't even know what a woman means. Yeah, they do. That's just something you're told because, they know how dumb you are. So they convince you of things that are not going on. Remember when they were saying the liberals are going crazy over the Sydney Sweeney commercial? Sydney Sweeney, whatever her name is. You know what I was saying about the Sydney Sweeney commercial? God damn. That bitch is bad. Like, that's what I was saying. And I vote Democrat. Okay. Nobody was bothered by the Sydney Sweeney commercial. That's just you. They caught like a couple of internet kooks that were offended by it and they played you that. And you guys went around believing all liberals were pissed off about this. Yeah, no. The left is cooked. Sure it is. Yeah, you're right. They're paying me to read comments. I don't actually add anything to it. There's no commentary. I'm not saying anything. You're right. It's just me reading comments. Dude, you're a liar like CNN and ABC. You make things up to defend Biden. No, I don't. Anything I say, ask me to show you the source, and I will gladly do so, or I'll prove it to you. Okay, now, for the guy that said 268 million on a basketball court, the fact that you can convince yourself that there's such a thing as a basketball court that costs $268 million is astounding. An outdoor basketball court. Wait, let me just read this. Literally doesn't understand the chat he read, but tells he researches and how don't I understand the chat? That sounds like you and your people, dude. You voted dumb a crap. Yeah, that's sissy. You're like, what are you, like 12? So anyway, yeah, I don't know. If you're talking about that one comment from the dude with all the shit he said, that one I really didn't understand. Let me read it again. Monetary, education, healthcare, government, centralized systems or control systems. Humans can't handle cooperation. No. Competition dehumanizes, maybe, but I don't believe that they're all centralized systems. Or that all those centralized systems are control systems. I mean, education maybe. But healthcare, government, definitely. And monetary, I mean, well, okay, maybe that too. Monetary, yeah. Nothing controls like money. Nobody knows what Democrats believe in aside from abortion, access, and trans people. Yeah, they do. People with fucking brains do. They do. Now, they show you something. Okay, I'm going to show you something. How much did Obama's basketball court cost? Now, I want to tell you something before I even look at this. He didn't build a basketball court. You know that, right? It was literally a tennis court that they repurposed as a basketball court. And guess how they did it? They used tape to make lines on it. And they rolled out 2 basketball hoops on wheels. They didn't even put basketball they didn't even put it in the ground. Okay, now look, the exact cost of the basketball court built at the White House during Obama's presidency is not public, but estimates suggest it was likely in the tens of thousands. Funded privately, the court was created by adapting the existing South Lawn tennis court, not by building a new one from scratch. And the cost was significantly less than figures that circulated in some false claims. Cost estimate. The court was reportedly privately funded and the exact cost was never disclosed. Cost estimate. The actual cost was far below the figures touted in viral posts. High-end basketball court construction can cost between $50,000 and $200,000 in today's market, but Obama's project was an adaptation of an existing court, not a full new build. I researched this before. They say about 40 grand. Privately funded, he spent about 40 grand. Which I have a hard time believing he spent that much. But $268 million? We got a person in this chat who believes there's such a thing as an outdoor basketball court. Not like a professional, no, just one at the White House. That cost $268 million. Yeah. Dems were the only ones who owned slaves. Oh, here we go. Let me guess, you guys, it's at the White House. It's at the White House. It was a tennis court that he repurposed into a basketball court. You guys never heard of the Southern strategy? Like, there's still people in America in 2025 who don't know that the voter bases for both parties switched completely, so that the Democrats of back then, slavery and stuff, are the Republicans of today? You don't know that? All right. If you want, I'll play you a video. The court is made of diamonds and gold. Yeah. $268 million. It was a cheap hoop. It was a hoop and some lines. Yeah. This dickhead said, they say it with such confidence too, like they know shit. Well, they wouldn't say anything when Obama spent $268 million on a basketball court. Meanwhile, I mean, you know where they got this from, right? I heard one of the Fox News or people or some shit say this in a clip I watched. Think about it. I mean, and they believe it. They don't, this is what I mean by they're not critical thinkers. They don't say to themselves, wait a minute, 268 million seems like an awful lot for a basketball court. No, they're just like, oh, Obama spent 268 million. And then they start typing in chats. Dems founded KKK. Sure. Yeah. The conservative Democrats of slave times. Yeah. Not the Democrats of today. You keep, I told you guys about spam in the chat. You're not going to want to do that. Vinny Cocoa Puff, $4.99. She testified and said that Trump did nothing wrong a while back. We don't have anything new. Who? Virginia Dufresne? Well, I don't know that she testified. She might have. But that doesn't mean anything. Like Vinny Cocoa Puff. Like when people say something about Trump, everybody will just say she's lying. Like if a woman says Trump did something, like E. Jean Carroll, she's lying. You don't look for proof to see if she's lying. You're not concerned if she's lying. You'll just say she's lying. But when somebody says something that benefits Trump, she must be telling the truth, right? You know why Katie Johnson, the one that Trump raped when she was 13, you know why she dropped her lawsuit? Because she started getting zillions of phone calls and letters and emails and text messages from MAGA, from lunatics who were threatening to blow her brains out and kill her and everything else. So there's a good chance Virginia Dufresne might have had that in mind when she had the option. Do I want to add Donald Trump into this, or do I want to just go after Epstein? Because he's dead and he's no harm to me. You know, I think there's a good chance Virginia was lying. You know what I mean? Or threatened into saying something, of course. Because if this was a Democrat, you would say that the Hillary Clinton and her husband threatened them with murder if they don't, say what they want them to say. But with Trump, it's like, no, Trump's not the kind of guy who would threaten somebody into something. He's also not the kind of guy that would pay somebody off. No. So there's an email where Epstein, it came out today, clearly says Trump knows about the girls. He knows what's going on. He said he was with Virginia Dufresne at my house for hours. So what do you think he was doing with her there? You think they were just hanging out, like playing like Monopoly or something, Trump and Virginia Dufresne? This girl that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked to his rich friends. I mean, do you really believe that nothing happened between him and Virginia Dufresne? Vinny Cocoa Puff, $4.99. The Dem filibuster was over, so they brought up old stuff. I'm sure he is guilty, but this isn't new. This is not old stuff. I Googled it in the beginning of the show. This was brought out today. It's not old. It is new. But I'm glad at least you say he's guilty. And thank you for the $4.99 again. You have proof of all these letters. You've seen them? What letters? I don't know what you're talking about. Again, I'm referring to 60 Minutes. What are you talking about? The only thing I said about 60 Minutes is that Trump fucking said that the fuck did he say now? Oh, that he didn't know who he pardoned. He also said that in a press conference from the White House the other day. Trump is a rapist cuck. He is. The Republicans are clearly the racist party these days. Both sides suck, in my opinion, but I guess I have to choose the lesser of two evils. When these people say that's just like when they say a $268 million basketball court. Out of one side of their mouth, they're saying all the fucking Democrats care about is these illegal Mexicans and these black fellers, right? Then on the other side of their mouth, they say, by the way, the Democrats are the party of the KKK. You're so dumb. Yeah, it's not the guy that shouted Mexicans are rapists. No, it's not. No, it's not the party of Trump. No. I bet he was nice to her. Yeah, I bet he was. I certainly do. Vinny Cocoa Puff, $1.99. The email was proven to be old. Where? Vinny Cocoa Puff, just give me the source. Because I looked this up earlier 10 different ways, and I found not one source that said this was old. The lunatic, libertarian, 499 rhetoric and propaganda run this country. Self-sustained human populace possible, though. Possible through policy. Can humans agree to be prosperous? Unobtainable. I don't fucking know. But thank you for the 499. Humans can't agree to do anything. Humans are, you can't get them to fucking. I remember one time there was a huge thing, Facebook. There was this organized thing. Everybody's going to stop buying gas for a day as a way to protest gas prices. Nobody could do it. Everybody bought gas. It was a regular sales day for gas stations around the country. So Jeffrey Epstein was a Democrat, except for the fact that he was a Republican. Yeah. Yeah, if he wasn't a Republican, you'd be right. He just decided to make that up. Ask yourself if Melania would have married a broke-ass Trump. Oh, of course not. She did lie, and it was already caught. She lied, and she got caught. She ain't seeing a dime. Who are we talking about, Samuel Sam? Because you realize that I'm reading like a million different comments, right? So like you'll make a comment. I might even respond to it. And then I read 40 other comments. And then you expect that when I read your next one that I know what you're talking about. That's why you should say, like, what did you say? She something. Say what she did. Who was it? Who did this? Who did that? Stuff like that. So I know what you mean. Do you really believe the Democrats had the files for 4 years and they didn't see it before the election? Dude, did you go to school? The Republicans freed the slaves. You need to look up your history. No, I don't believe Democrats had the files for 4 years. No, I believe the Department of Justice had it. That's number one. Number two, I think it's you, Mark, that needs to, look up some history. Because it's called the Southern fucking strategy. Jesus, for the love of Christ, here, let me just let Steve Bannon explain it to you in cartoon form. For the love of God, all you guys that think the Democrats are still the party of slavery, listen very closely to what he says.
It's pretty simple to explain. Basically, when Nixon was discovered having committed Watergate, people thought the Republican Party was washed up. But a clever staffer on in Nixon's White House came up with an idea for how to get more new Republican voters to replace all the people that were turned off by the corruption that had just been exposed, and perhaps save the party. His name was Lee Atwater. And he said, I know where there's all kinds of disgruntled white people. All you got to do is appeal to them over their anger about the end of Jim Crow and about school desegregation and about the Civil Rights Act. And these are the words that you'll say to kind of trigger them. Then we call these the racist dog whistles. And you will send a message to them that they are welcome in the Republican Party. And starting in the mid-70s to the mid-80s, there was a massive change in voter registration from Democrat to Republican on the part of all of these racists and lowlifes and ignorant people. At the same time, Trump started to have political ambitions. Now, it turns out Trump has an IQ of about 73. He barely functions as an adult. If it were not for the fact that his father gave him a lot of money, he wouldn't be able to function as an adult. Trump has less money now than he would have had if he'd just taken the money he got from his father and put it in an index fund in the stock market and just let it sit. But he's gradually played around with it all these years and lost it in all his lawsuits and so forth, and his 6 bankruptcies, and he has dissipated a fortune over his lifetime. Now, he's had the Russians for the last 20 years to bail him out, but ordinary people cannot be as dumb as Trump and still function. But Trump came out onto the public stage and started talking boldly like he wanted to do things politically and help the people of America. And he speaks like a third grader, because that's what somebody with an IQ of 73 talks like, even if they're an adult. Linguists have analyzed his speech, and they've made it plain. He speaks English at a third grade level. This energized dumb people, because for the first time they could understand a presidential candidate. And they said things like, oh, he speaks his mind. He's the first guy that doesn't use a bunch of fancy words and confuse me. Now I finally understand what he's saying. And of course, what he was saying was a lot of things they wanted to hear. They were the racist dog whistles. And so you had a beautiful alliance, from their perspective, of racists and stupid people. The lower 12% of the IQ distribution corresponds perfectly to Trump's supporters. Now, these people are so intelligent that there's actually a federal statute that prohibits their induction into military service. They didn't want to have a repeat, Congress didn't want to have a repeat of the McNamara's Morons incident from Vietnam, which is a notorious thing you can look up on your own. McNamara's Morons, it's called. Basically, we had a Secretary of Defense who had the idea that, hey, why don't we recruit low intelligence people, send them to war and see what happens. And what happened was they died in droves, and of course things got worse. And so they didn't want that happening again, so they actually passed a law. You're not allowed to recruit and induct into military service the lowest 12% on the IQ range. But they're still allowed to vote, and Trump energized them. He made dumb people think that they finally understood politics. He made people stood around proud of themselves thinking that they had a grasp of the issues, because they could tell on some level that Trump wasn't much smarter than they were, but there he was, a big shot. So he seemed like a champion for them. Of course, all these people forget that they aren't rich. They didn't have a dad hand them the equivalent of $412 million. And they can't do the things that Trump does, and they can't get away with the things Trump has gotten away with. And even Trump himself is not going to get away with them indefinitely. But the stage has been set, and this is where we're at. Basically, we have a fanatical core of low intelligence voters that are solidly behind Trump. They will back him no matter what he does or says, because they don't care what he does or says. They just know he's their guy. They understand him. They like him. He talks to them in a way that they can comprehend, and they are fanatical in their support of him. He has given them what they see as dignity and strength. And then at the other end of the spectrum are smart people from all walks of life. I actually used to be a Republican myself. I'm ashamed to admit it now, but I know I'm not alone. I mean, millions of people who make sure that they turn out to vote against Trump used to be actual Republicans, because the Republican Party is now nothing but a loony bin of the very low intelligent. And there's just no way that you can be associated with them at all. So now it's going to be, some range of conservative to liberal Democrats again, except that it'll mean something different than it used to mean. I mean, those Democrats won't be conservative because they're racist garbage people from the South. They'll be conservative because they have some other philosophy about the role of the market or of private enterprise or something like that in the economy. At any rate, this is the problem we have. It's basically now just the very low intelligent versus the high intelligence. And the thing is going to be decided by undecided people who don't pay any attention. People in the middle that don't pay attention to politics, no matter whether the politicians are smart or dumb. They just show up on election day and try to do their best. Those are the people you have to reach. You have to get them interested.
Facts don't care about your feelings.
See, and people are like, it's a cartoon, right? Yeah, it's a real human being's voice, you dipshit. And everything he said is true. So, Mark, the balls you have to say, I need to look up history, and you don't even know about the big switch. Like, Mark, so you're telling me, like, you actually believe that the Democrats are the party of slavery now. So you're saying that it's the Democrats that fly the Confederate flag. It's the Democrats that are endorsed by the KKK and every white supremacist group. Okay. It's the Democrats that well, we could go into how racist Republicans are. I think that they'd be, maybe the Democrats would be doing what the Republicans are doing. Like when the Democrats have DEI and the Republicans go out of their way to get rid of that. You don't think that has anything to do with color? You don't think so? Even though DEI, I mean, it's quite simple. You can't get a job you're not qualified for. It doesn't matter if you're black, purple, it doesn't matter. So an air traffic controller, a black one applies. He has to pass the same tests and have the same knowledge and skills as a white one. Okay, so you think the Republicans are the party of acceptance, even though they don't like Muslims, gay people, trans people, Mexicans, black people, anyone. But you think the Democrats are the party of racism, the ones that, try to do things to help out minorities and stuff like that. So, do you think, for example, let me ask you, who's constantly bitching about Confederate statues being torn down? Like, I don't know, Robert E. Lee, who was a Confederate general, who was, of course, for slavery. Democrats tear those down, right? And then Republicans bitch that they want them back up. Do you see, Mark? Like, before you make a comment like that, you might want to think and say, wait a minute, what I'm saying doesn't make sense. Vinny Cocoa Puff, both parties are the party of slavery, period. Pay interest and land taxes forever. I guess depending on what you define as slavery, yeah, but we all know that real slavery is forced labor, without pay. You think you win, but you sit behind the screen and pick and choose who you want to pick on, but not actually debate them. I'll debate anyone. I'll debate anyone who wants to debate. By the way, the thing somebody said about Biden's bad economy and all that, let me give you guys some facts here, okay? When Donald Trump left office, the unemployment rate was at 14%. 14 fucking percent. We couldn't get toilet paper. We couldn't get paper towels. There was no food on the fucking shelves. He destroyed the entire economy. Okay, 14% unemployment rate. And he left office with 2.5 million jobs less than he came into office with. The only other president since Herbert Hoover to do that. Joe Biden brought the unemployment rate down to 3.2%, a record low, the lowest it's ever been. Okay. The GDP was up under Biden. The only thing that you guys can mention is gas prices and grocery prices, which, by the way, grocery prices are still high. They're higher than they were under Biden right now. And gas prices are a tiny bit lower. And that has to do with OPEC and not Donald Trump. So Joe Biden did a lot of good for this country, but you don't know it because you don't actually know what he's done. You don't know what he's done. You don't know any Joe Biden policies, you know? So, hold on. Basic school grades, blue states are literally dumb. No, you can look it up. I already proved that on this show. The least educated states in the country are red states. Yeah, of course. You played a cartoon, but who was that guy? It was supposed to be Steve Bannon, but it was a real guy talking. I mean, it was that he explained the Southern strategy, and he described Trump voters to a T. Democrats were for slavery. Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. He's a Republican. Yep. Sure enough, even though I played it, they don't get it. They didn't soak in one bit of that information. Vinny Cocoa Puff 199. Dems make minorities dependent on purpose for vote. Maybe, Vinny, like that's been argued, and I wouldn't say it's for a vote. I mean, whether or not Democrat policies are good for minorities, that can be argued. But for a vote, I don't think so. I mean, didn't minorities pretty much overwhelmingly vote for Trump last time? So, well, tell me that when you see Latinos for Trump and people like this, you know, I just don't. I don't know if it's for votes, but tell me this, Vinny Cocoa Puff, how come everything we enjoy today is a Democratic policy? Everything from the 40-hour work week to Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, any type of welfare, all that stuff, public libraries, everything, you know, stuff like this is they're all Democratic policies. So everything people love, they don't even understand comes from Democrats, you know, so there's a lot of shit we wouldn't have without them. So, I mean, I don't know. I think Vinny Cocoa Puff, there's people who are smart and people who are stupid, and people who are working class and smart know that the people that are going to most likely help them are Democrats. The people that are going to most likely hurt them are Republicans. Vinny Cocoa Puff 199. You're comparing an exit during a pandemic. Don't say pandemic. For Vinny, you delete the comment, please. Thank you for the 199, but you're going to get me in trouble here. You can't say that on YouTube. Plus, it's retarded. I appreciate you donating, but I still have to call it out when it's stupid. The pandemic. Let's not even get into that. Okay, but an exit that could have been much better. Like what you'll say is it's all COVID's fault. You won't say at all that Donald Trump has any responsibility for the way he handled it. Like the way he handled it was perfect, right? If he would have handled it better, it wouldn't have been as bad. You don't think that it wouldn't have been as bad if he would have handled it better? He is the president, and the way he handles it, that's how it goes. So, you know, listen, inflation was worldwide. Every single nation suffered inflation because of COVID. And under Biden, our country had the fastest recovery. So you can't deny that Trump left with 2.5 million less jobs. I don't give a fuck why, because if it was Biden, you don't give a fuck why. So 2.5 million less jobs, 14% unemployment rate. And then Biden brought down the unemployment rate, and he created more jobs in 4 years, 4 times more jobs than the last 4 Republican presidents combined. So he also counted illegals. For what? Counted illegals for what? How about civil rights? Not one bill nor one vote. Them. Do you want me to play it again? When was the Civil Rights Act? 1964. Okay. So over since maybe like the 30s, there started to be a switch. Okay. Voters were voting differently for the opposite party all of a sudden. Okay. Little by little, they started changing their policies, Democrats and Republicans and stuff like that. So in the 70s, as my friend Steve Bannon just told you, this is when, they after Nixon's administration, you heard the whole thing. Southern Republicans were dying party, so they figured out, okay, we need new voters, we need a new base, and where can we find a new base? Well, there's tons of people in the South, and they're racist, white trash people. Basically, if we could just appeal to them, we'll get their votes. So they started doing things to appeal to the racist people in the southern states, the racist white people who were Democratic voters. Okay. Sure enough, within not much time at all, millions of people started changing from Democrat to Republican. So all the racist people that were voting for Democrats started voting for Republicans. Therefore, Republicans became the party of slavery, and Democrats became the party of civil rights. Because how about civil rights today? Like civil rights for, let's just say, trans people. Is it the Republicans doing that? Or the Democrats trying to get civil rights for people today? The fact that you don't know this and don't understand it, no matter how many times it's explained to you, is shocking, and it's terrifying that you guys have the same right to vote that I do. I mean, Jimmy Carter, let me explain it another way. So Democrats used to always win the South because they were the party of racism, slavery, they were against civil rights, so they always won the South. Then Nixon became president. They started with the Southern strategy and all that horse shit. Jimmy Carter was the next president, right? But he was a Southern-born Baptist. That's the only reason he won the whole South after the big switch. Now, guess what hasn't happened since Jimmy Carter? No Democrat has won the South, the entire South as a voting bloc. No Democrat, not once. The Republicans win them. Does that make you understand any better? Top corn biscuits, $10. Trump IQ was 75 5 years ago. Now if he's the smartest guy in the room because he can recognize an elephant on a cognitive test. Most of the MAGAs would fail their test. I know he's smarter than them. I'll give you that much. Biden forced people to take the vaccine, get fired, and lose income and your way of life. Get the job. Listen to the doctors. Biden fired and silenced. Okay, so Biden made it federal law that if you don't take the vaccine, then you're fired from your job. Yeah, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. And who put that vaccine out there, by the way? Oh, that's right. It was the guy that just got his booster shot at Walter Reed about 3 weeks ago, Donald Trump. Yeah, I remember it was called Operation Warp Speed. Yep. Guys are too much. Joe Biden got you fired from your job. Joe Biden's the president of the fucking United States. Where is the federal law? Show me that said if you don't take it, you're getting fired. Yeah. No. Dixie Senior, have you ever seen it, or whatever, you're Dixie Sir? Have you ever seen it in context? Do you know what Joe Biden was doing? Let me show you something. Because all you guys see is a clip of Joe Biden saying the N-word. You say, look at that racist motherfucker, like you care about race. You're all racist. Guys, you're all racist. That's why you're Trump voters. If you thought Biden was racist, you would have voted for him. See how much misinformation spreads in this chat? Like they really don't know anything, and they'll just say whatever. Joe Biden was quoting racist comments. Okay, you want to hear more? Claim: a video from a 1985 hearing exposes Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden for using the N-word, stating, "We already have a N-word mayor. We don't need any more. We don't need any more N-word big shots." False. Biden was not making the statement himself. He was reading a racist statement made by a state legislator during a redistricting process in Louisiana that was overseen by a deputy attorney general nominee. Biden was questioning the nominee under oath about the comments during a U.S. Senate hearing. Any of you guys just want to be like, okay, my bad, I didn't know that. Any of you? Any of you? Let's see. Roll the clip. No more Dr. Seuss sources. Let me see if they have the whole clip. You'll just deny it anyway. It doesn't matter. You guys are brainwashed. You don't know how not to. Let me see. You sure you want to see this? If I play it to you and it's exactly what I just read you, will you say you were wrong? Will you say it, Dixie, sir? Noble Panacea. Okay, let me see if I can find it on YouTube. YouTube is always better. All right, I'll just play it on C-SPAN. Fuck it. All right. Social Blade, yeah, 5K a year. Social Blade is, doesn't know shit about cash donations, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, and even super chats. I make more than that a month. Believe me, I've been doing this 4.5 years. I kind of have expensive taste, and a high standard of living. If I was making $5,000 a year, I just simply wouldn't be doing this.
Precision slices through the city's traditional subunit, the ward in a racially selective manner, leaving intact predominantly white wards while carving up those densely populated by blacks. As of the governor, the court concludes, quote, the governor's opposition to the Nunes plan was predicated in significant part on his delineation of a majority black district centered in Orleans Parish. In a confidential portions of your staff memo, they brought to your attention the allegation that important legislators in defeating the Nunes plan in the basement said, quote, we already have a nigger mayor. We don't need any more nigger big shots. And the court cited evidence of discriminatory intent on the part of other legislators, including the representative who testified at the court hearing that there were
I'll wait for you, Dixie, sir, to be like, okay, I'm sorry, I was wrong. I'll wait. Now, look, the commie, is he good for New York? You're just changing the subject because you fucked up. Would you be friends with a friend of Epstein? No. The Republicans are the party of hate, of course. No, she didn't. For the saying the N-word, no, she didn't. Where'd you go, Dixie, sir? Pandering. You know what that word means, don't you? Bussing. Dixie, sir, are you going to acknowledge that I just proved you wrong? Or are you going to change the subject to bussing? Which, by the way, do I think Joe Biden's racist? Probably. I don't fucking know. What do I care? He's not the president. I'm focused on the president of today, who I know for a fact is racist. But chances are any white man Joe Biden's age most likely has a tinge of racism in them. But the bottom line is you were wrong about that. He didn't say that. He was quoting someone who said it. So go ahead, Dixie, sir. I'm going to wait because there's no way you would be like a coward, right? Like somebody who's not a man, who can't man up and be like, okay, you were wrong. You were right. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Nobody except for them. Yeah, I know. Well, that's because they repeat what they're told. Whatever words they hear, keywords and shit, buzzwords. His own VP called him out on desegregation. Did he not? The topic is racism, isn't it? Dixie, sir, were you wrong about what you said about Biden using the N-word as if he was stating it himself? Guys, they can't do it. They can't do it. Go ahead. I'll wait. What they do is when you prove them wrong, which I do constantly, they either ignore it, they change the subject, or they just refuse to acknowledge that they were wrong. One battle doesn't win a war. Dixie, sir, were you wrong? Were you wrong? I know. Yeah, Woody, we already went over that. You might want to look up what's called the Southern Strategy. You're not black if you don't vote for me. It's YOU''RE. Yeah, so what? Biden said that. So what? You guys, I'm talking about people that are racist, and you think I'm defending Biden. Biden, I just said a minute ago, Biden probably does have some racism in him. I wouldn't doubt it for a second. But that was never even the topic of conversation. I really don't care. Biden's an old man dying of cancer now. Not changing the subject is still racism. Dixie, were you wrong about what you said? Did I prove you wrong? Weren't you the confident one that said, roll the tape, no more Dr. Seuss sources? Listen, man, this is why you guys are who you are. You won't take responsibility for your own actions. You certainly ain't going to hold Donald Trump accountable for his. This is why you'll continue to support a pedophile and not think anything of it. We were literally talking about racism. Dixie, did you say that Joe Biden said the N-word, blah, 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 and when I read to you that it was actually him quoting somebody, did you say roll the tape, blah, 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 no more source? In other words, you said that it was Joe Biden that was saying that as a direct statement from his own mouth, like he was saying it, not a quote. Now I showed you it was a quote, but you won't admit you're wrong. Don't worry, I know. If I stay on 10 more hours, you'll still never admit you're wrong. You guys aren't capable. You're not capable. That's why nobody takes you seriously. See what I mean? Right back to you. C-SPAN is a credible source. It was Joe Biden. You know that C-SPAN isn't the source. C-SPAN just reported it. It's Joe Biden. It's the video that you guys take a clip of to say that he was saying the N-word. It's the same video you guys cite. It's just the whole video. You got to understand something. A source is, say, somebody who reports something, like they're writing it. They're reporting the story. They're breaking the news. Okay? When you see somebody doing something or saying something with their own words, even if some news publication or website or something is playing it, they're not the source then. The source is what you're seeing with your own eyes, the person in the video. Okay? Yeah, I know Dixie did. I know. Show me a clip of Biden using the N-word. Did you not see how easy that rolled off his tongue? You can't do it. Dixie, you're not a man. You're not a man. And just because you're a coward, I don't even want you here. I'm going to block you now. Sorry. You won't admit. Yeah, they won't do it. They won't do it. I've proved them wrong 500 times on this show. They won't do it. All right, guys. Have a good night. To everybody who donated, I appreciate you very much. Even if we disagree, I really appreciate the super chats. Peace, guys.